Hello, it's Mrs. Green, and this lesson is on three-dimensional figures, otherwise known as 3D figures for short. So the first thing you want to do is put down your prior knowledge. And I have a picture of several common 3D figures. And we're going to need to make a table of these figures. And you can get it off of my graphic, but there's no definitions here. You probably are going to need to, the best place is the textbook or the internet. So let's get to the key information. Okay, so you're going to have to make a table or a diagram like I have with the 5 common 3D figures: prism, pyramid, cylinder, cone, and sphere. And for the definition, I need you to include the shape of the base, the number of bases, and what the shape of the other faces are. So for example, with a pyramid, the base is square. There's one base, one square base. Actually, it doesn't have to be a square now that I'm thinking about it. It has to be a polygon. One polygon base. Because you could have a pyramid that has a pentagon for a base, as long as it has one point. And also the pyramid's shape of the sides, the other faces are all triangular because it's got one point. It only has one base. So you're going to go through and do the cylinder, the sphere, the cone, and then prisms. See, these 2 are pyramids, and these 3 are all prisms. And the prisms depend on the shape of the base. So you've got a square base, a rectangular base, and a triangular base. And the bases are the 2 sides that are parallel to each other. So in the triangular prism, the 2 triangles are the bases. All the other sides are rectangles. And if this is getting confusing, I also want you to look in the textbook on blue textbook, page 566. Red textbook does not have a good chapter on 3-dimensional figures. Okay. So it's up to you to figure out, to draw all these shapes, the 5 shapes, and figure out the shape of the base, how many bases, and the shape of the other faces. Okay, the other thing I want you to do is to label, make another drawing of some kind of 3D figure. I have a triangular pyramid here, so that you can label the faces, the bases, the faces, the vertices, and the edges. So we're going to get more specific with some of our vocabulary. The word sides is not going to be useful in a 3-dimensional figure because side could mean a face or an edge. So instead of using the word side, we're going to replace that with a face, which is going to be top, bottom, front, back, the flat portion. And then the edge is going to be the line that connects 2 faces. And then the vertex still has the same definition that we're used to, which is a corner, where 3 planes meet or 3 faces meet. And the base is the bases are the faces that are parallel to each other. So in a rectangular prism, or let's do a triangular prism, a triangle and another triangle, and then if you connect the corners, you'll have a triangular prism. And some people might think that the bottom that it's resting on is the base, but it's not. It's the triangle and the other triangle. Those are the 2 faces that are congruent to each other and are parallel to each other. All the other sides are going to be rectangles. Okay, here's example 1. This is a picture of a pentagonal. So that means that the bottom is the shape of a pentagon. So the base is a pentagon. It has one base, which makes it a pyramid, not a prism. A prism would have 2 bases, the same size and shape, congruent. So one base, a pentagonal pyramid because it's got a point at the top instead of another base. And then if I want to label the vertices, I've got a vertice here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vertices. And see the number of faces. So when I do the number of vertices was 6, the number of faces, that's going to be the base is a face. And then you've got the triangular sides. I've got 5 of those because that's going to be equal to the number of sides of the base. So 5 plus the base would be 6. So 6 vertices and 6 faces. You might be starting to see a pattern. And then the number of edges. So these are the three things we're going to count with our three-dimensional figures. And edges are going to be the sides. So where 2 faces meet, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then my dotted one back here, 5. And then I've got that same number again around the base, so it's going to be 10. So it's 2 times the number of edges on my base. So there's a pattern there. The edges are always 2 times the number of sides you have on the base. The faces and the vertices are the number of sides plus 1 on a pyramid anyway. You can start to see a pattern. Okay, so on example 2, I'm going to show you how to draw a prism. So if you want to draw a triangular prism, you're going to draw the 2 congruent bases. And then connect the vertices, the corresponding vertices. And there you've got the prism. And if you wanted to make it a little more 3D looking, I guess you could make part of the lines, the ones that are behind, dotted. Then if you want to draw a pyramid, you do the base first. So again, if it's a triangular pyramid, and then somewhere above, usually, or I guess to the side, start with the point, and then you're going to draw just down to each vertex on the base. That's it. So practice problems. I want you to draw practice problem number 1. So practice number 1 is going to be for you to draw a rectangular prism. Number 2, draw a hexagonal pyramid and tell the number of faces, edges, and vertices. That's it. And then at the end, don't forget to do your summary.